we doing today, everybody? It's WatchDisplay here, and I got another review for you of the Rolex Explorer II, the 16570. And quick wrist shot, just a quick little fun Casio vibration alarm. I got this specifically for a reason, which with that vibration alarm. In my line of work, I need a kind of a low-key way to time myself without people knowing, and I'm not a big fan of smartwatches, so this guy works perfect for that reason. All right, but today the star is the Explorer II, and this is a P serial. And you'll notice that you'll see whenever, if anyone's ever in the market for this reference, the 16570, you're gonna have some with holes case, non-solid endlink bracelet. Now this is a solid endlink bracelet. You'll see this is one piece. It protrudes. These endlinks are solid. So you'll see it, like I said, with the holes case, non-solid endlink bracelet. You have the serial numbers like this one I have here, which is the P serial, and it's kind of like a transitional serial number where it has both the solid endlinks and the holes case. And then you will have no holes case, solid endlinks, and then the newest of those would be the 86 movement, which this has the 85. I have had an Explorer II before, no holes case, solid endlinks. It was like a 2004 or 5 model, I can't remember exactly. But what I really like about the holes case is actually being able to take off the bracelets. For anybody that knows, Rolex bracelets are not the easiest bracelets to get off. So it does make it nice for easy access just to pop off the bracelet with the holes. And after kind of looking over this watch, you'll see that, I mean, these chamfers are super sharp. Edges are clean. It's a nice thick case. I'm sure it's been polished before. It's not like it's a unpolished example, but overall it's still very thick. Barely any metal has been taken off, and even around the bezel itself has still got a nice angle to it. Don't really have any actual scratches on the brushing whatsoever. But let's take it off of this little display rack just so we can kind of show it to you. I'll get this out of the way. So, of course, you do have non-solid links inside of the bracelet. You have the older school or older style bracelet, which I don't know. I'm torn on it. So I really do like how low key this clasp is. It literally doesn't really protrude much higher than the bracelet itself, so you don't get as much desk diving as you would with one of the like say my Rolex Submariner Bluesy that I've done a review on. But of course the bracelet doesn't feel as substantial. It's got a little bit of wobble to it, and you know, this is an older bracelet. It does have a little bit of stretch. I'm not saying this bracelet is 100%, but you can see it's got a little bit of bend to it, not a whole lot. But overall, I think this is a great everyday watch, and what draws to me to this model is just you might not be able to catch it in the video, but around these hour markers it's black, right? But it's not just like a flat black, it's actually white gold that's been DLC coated with black, and it's another thing you can't really see in photos, but this dial is just super white. I mean, it is just like pure white. I don't know if I've ever had a watch with a white dial this just purely white. And is it the black markers and the stainless steel case that make it look more white? I'm not sure. I've not had the actual dial outside of the case, but it just looks super white. And you'll notice that this one even has the original sticker on the back. I mean, it's just a superb example. And these, you can get these for a really good price. They've gone up a little bit since the last time that I got one of these, which was about maybe a year and a half ago. It was the black dial, which sells a little bit less than this polar dial. But I just think this is an excellent model, and you get a lot of bang for buck. I mean, you're literally getting the exact same watch as the GMT Master 2, and especially if you were to get the black dial in this variant. Only difference is the non-rotating bezel. And if anyone's noticed, the GMT Master is like literally just skyrocketed lately. And I did have one of those about maybe 4 months ago. I had a Pepsi and a black insert that I could switch back and forth. And I love that watch, but for the amount of money that they're going for, unless it's like a collector's example, I'm not a huge fan of having like over $8,000, and those were all non-solid endlink bracelets and all hollow link bracelets. So like, it didn't appeal to me. And I had sold my Rolex Yachtmaster 116622 for that GMT Master. And while I like the looks of the GMT a lot, it just didn't make sense having that much money in an older Rolex. Now, granted, they probably will continue to go up, but at the end of the day, it's an older Rolex. And I'm just more of a fan of modern Rolex. There's nothing wrong with vintage, but mine, of course, is full set. It's got the original box with the actual like little, I guess, metal style. It's not metal, but it's like bendable felt. And then I got, of course, the old school box as well. But I think these are tremendous value. And let me give you just I don't want to make this video too long, but I'm not gonna lie. The first time I got the Explorer II, it wasn't a black dial. And it honestly, it was not anywhere close to as clean as this example. But I didn't really love it too much because, I mean, I liked it, but I didn't love it because it was the most expensive watch in my collection at that time. And don't take it as in I'm only considering this in terms of a money evaluation. I mean in terms overall, like it was the highest end watch that I owned at the time. So it's kind of a low-key watch, right? Like it doesn't scream Rolex. And I'm not saying that I didn't like it because people didn't notice that it was Rolex. I'm going to be honest with you, in the area that I'm in, a lot of people don't have a clue. Even some of my crazy ostentatious Rolexes, they still don't even know they're Rolexes. And so it's not that. It's just that after a week of wearing kind of a low-key stainless steel watch, I like to put on something with some gold, or I like to put on something that just kind of stands out a little bit. And it's not to impress anyone. It's just a different change. And that would be like me if I had this watch and a Submariner, just solid stainless steel. I don't know. They'd be very similar to me. But like with my bluesy, it just kind of stands out. So I guess what my point being is, sometimes to appreciate a watch, you have to kind of let your collection evolve. And it's kind of like Grand Seiko. At the time that I had a Grand Seiko, I had a 1625 Thunderbird Turnograph vintage date just. I had a day date 1803. I had a two-tone Panda dial Daytona. And I also had one more. Oh, I had the Globemaster also, the Omega Globemaster. So like having the Grand Seiko was kind of cool because it was a cool thing to switch up. Would I ever want my main watch? And generally, I hate to say this, but generally my main watch is my most expensive watch. It just, that's kind of how it falls. I don't wear my bluesy every single day. So I guess what I'm trying to say also is like you kind of appreciate watches more when your collections evolve. And now that I have a better evolved collection and I've experienced multiple brands and multiple price points of watches from everywhere from Breguet to Omega to Rolex to, I don't know, I've had tons of Zeniths. I just had tons of different watches. I really appreciate just how low key this Rolex is. And I've heard a lot of people call this the ugly duckling of the Rolex. I can totally understand why it might not appeal to some people, but once again, a lot of these people, I'll conversate with them and I ask them like, what's their highest end watch, and it's like, a $3,000 or $4,000 watch, and I get it. You wouldn't want to add something like this if you're not like just crazy into stainless steel watches. when it would pretty much be your highest end watch you own. I get it totally. But just something a little different, black Rolex writing on the dial. It's just different. It's not, you can't get anything like this in any other watch. And it's just any other Rolex, I mean. And you can just see it's just a super cool looking watch. And I've only had this one now for maybe 2 weeks, so I'm going to do a further review on it, even though I have had similar models of this in the past with just different dial colors. But I just wanted to give you my take on it. And sometimes, like, when you consider a watch, even if you didn't consider it, say, 2 years ago, think about it again. Think if your collection habits have changed. Think if your tastes have changed, and think about like what your collection is now. And something that might have not made sense at all 2 or 3 years ago might make perfect sense in terms of putting something like this in your collection. But you can get these anywhere from the $4,000 range up to about the $6,200 range, and that's really on the high end. To be honest with you, that's just people like kind of almost overcharging. But I'm just giving you an idea of what I've seen them for. And if you want box papers, full set, and everything like that, I'd say you're probably going to pay close to five. And if you wanted something as clean as this, you're probably going to pay a little bit more. And for me, it's more about cleanness. Like, I specifically wanted the holes case. I specifically wanted the solid ink endlink bracelet. So like, given some of the newer variants go for a little bit more, I would have rather paid the same amount for a little bit older variant with the holes case and the solid end links that was cleaner, than buying something that was newer that was beat to death. But there you can just see that beautiful polar dial.